Alright, so we're going to be using the pig's head. There's actually quite a bit of meat on there. But as you can see, our piggy is still a little furry. This is a Berkshire. They've got dark fur, and we want to get that off because we don't want to eat that. We want to both shave the face to get as much as we can off, and then I'm going to singe what's left off. So I'm going to do that first to prepare the head for removing the meat that is on there. Now, depending on the type of pig that you have bought, you may not have quite so much shaving to do. It depends on the breed, but also if you request that all hair be shaved, you want to indicate before you buy the pig, first of all, that you want the head, because it's not common in North America for people to request the head, and they may just dispose of it. So definitely request it because you can use it, but you can also request that it be cleaned up nicely for you, and that'll make this job a whole bunch easier. So after we've shaved it, I'm just going to give it a wipe. Make sure to get all those little bits of hair off. And then we're just going to singe any hair that's left over really lightly with a torch. So this is just a brulee torch that I'm using. So you can see I've got quite a bit of the hair off now. So we're going to grab the torch, and I'm just going to finish singeing, and you'll see the sparks will fly and they curl up really quickly. You don't want to get too close to the skin because you will begin to cook it. I am just going to singe some of the hairs inside the ear also, because we are going to be using the ear for the dish that we're going to make with this pig's head. So usually I've had to clean the head. The ears will be quite dirty, so I've scraped out the ears quite a bit. I'm just going to do that a little bit more because there is a little bit of nastiness left in there. What you can't scrape out, you can just get away with a cloth and get right in there. There we go. Awesome. So now what we're going to do is we're just going to separate all of this meat from the skull. So you start at the bottom of the jaw. Now normally this would be a whole head and you could just butterfly it, remove all the meat. Our pig came fully cut in half, right down the middle, so that included the head. So I'm just going to start peeling this away from the half from where it's cut. And you're just going to want to scrape right along the skull. So right now this section that I'm working on is a jowl. So this is the bottom of the jaw. And we do have the tongue. You can notice that it's been removed. We are going to use the tongue. Alright, so what we're left with is the skull, which we are going to cook and make stock out of. There's still quite a bit of flavor on there. However, first, there's this cheek here. And that is an absolutely fabulous piece of meat, so I'm going to take that out. So again, I'm just going to get as close to the skull as I can as I cut this piece out. So what we're left with is the half of the head. So what we're going to do, we could take this section off the jowl and we could cook that separately. We could crisp up the ear, we could cook the snout, we could do all of this separately. But what we're going to do is we're going to roll this up into a roulade and we're going to cook it slowly, and then we're going to use it as a shaved dish. So I'm just tucking the ear into the eye socket. Okay, so I've got the glands and the ear canal removed from the head, and I also have the meat portion of the other side of the head. So this side I've actually removed the skin also, and we're going to tuck this in to what we have here, and we're going to roll it up all together. So we're going to tie this nice and tight. We're going to salt it first. We're going to add some rosemary and tie it up and cook it sous vide. And then we just have some sliced garlic, which we're going to sprinkle in there too, and we're going to roll this all up. And then we'll season the outside of the head also. So here we have our twine, which we're going to roll this securely with. So we're rolling the head so that we have the snout at one end and then the fat end of the head at the other. So with this dish, which is kind of a traditional Italian dish, which is called Porcetta Di Testa. We're going to cook it slowly or at a rather low temperature in the sous vide machine, and then we're going to cool it back down, and we will shave this, and it'll be served with a salad. So normally this would enclose quite well because the head would have been fully attached, but you can see we're going to have to poke all those fillings in a little bit. Now this twine is going to hold it until we cook it. However, because there's a lot of gelatin naturally occurring in the meat of the head, we are going to find that when it cools down, it's going to hold together on its own. Okay, so we have our trussed head, and it's been stuffed with lemon and garlic and salt and pepper. You can see we have our snout at one end, and we're all rolled up. I'm sure there's many Italian mamas who could have done a very nice job of this, but it's all rolled up. It's going to hold together after we've cooked it.